The Victoria Cross is the Commonwealth's premier military honor. It is awarded for most conspicuous bravery, a daring act of valor, self-sacrifice, or extreme devotion to duty, in the presence of the enemy. Fewer than 100 Canadians have received the medal since 1856. In 1925, Winnipeg's Pine Street was renamed Valour Road, in memory of 3 Victoria Cross recipients who lived at different locations on the street. One of the men, Lionel Clark, moved with his family to Winnipeg's Pine Street as a teenager. During the Battle of the Somme, Corporal Clark and a small section of infantry were assigned to clear a German trench line.
During the German counterattack, the men of his section are wounded and put out of action, so he's in a sense the last person standing. And just through his determination and grit, he holds off that position against an overwhelming German force and defeats them. And that prevents the Germans from getting past that position and recapturing the trench.
Clark died the following month from enemy artillery fire. A Victoria Cross was presented posthumously to his father, Henry Clark. Frederick Hall lived on Pine Street before the war, working as a shipping clerk. The sergeant lost his life in the Second Battle of Ypres. He was attempting to rescue a wounded soldier less than 15 meters outside the trench. That day, Hall had rescued 2 other injured men on the battlefield. A Victoria Cross was presented posthumously to his mother, Mary Hall.
The Victoria Cross was always hanging on the wall. It was part of who I was. My grandfather was incredibly proud of his brother, and they told us and we counted all of the stories. My grandfather had been in the war himself, so he understood what the difficulties were.
Robert Shankland moved to Pine Street before shipping out to England in 1915. Shankland's platoon and supporting soldiers were reduced to a fragment in the 1917 Battle of Passchendaele, but they had won a strategic foothold on a ridge. He led the remaining survivors against a fierce counterattack, holding the position. Shankland then made his way through thick mud and shelling to the battalion headquarters, where he reported on the Germans' position. King George V presented the Victoria Cross to Shankland in 1918. Shankland was the only Valour Road soldier to survive the Great War. He served in the Second World War and attended the renaming of Pine Street in 1925. The boys of Valour Road were everyday Canadians who overcame hardship and fear, who made extraordinary sacrifices. They symbolize the courage and selflessness of Canadian veterans and service members, and the great sacrifices of the First World War, a conflict that killed roughly 61,000 Canadians.
So I think Valour Road is especially important to represent all 3 of the soldiers that lived on that road. Also remembering everybody that fought in the First World War. It was horrific. And we need to remember that as Canadians for the rest of history.